Nano Banana is this incredibly powerful tool. It feels like it should be able to, say, add a realistic backpack to your photo, or maybe just wipe away a trash can seamlessly.
Right, exactly. But then you try it, and getting the shadows right or making sure the background fill looks natural, it often feels impossible. You can spend hours just tweaking one little thing.
That disconnect is definitely real. So today, we're moving past the really basic prompts. We want to unpack uh, 10 proven methods, think of them like formulas, that can turn that frustration into professional-grade results consistently.
Yeah, this is our deep dive into Google's Nano Banana, and the mission is clear. Let's skip the endless trial and error. We're going to show you the specific kinds of commands that actually work, the ones that lead to high-quality, realistic images.
Okay, but before we even get into the fun stuff, the prompts themselves, we have to cover step 0. Accessing Nano Banana the right way, it actually matters more than you might think.
Oh, absolutely. It's a critical first step. So many people get, frankly, bad results just because they're using the wrong platform,
Right.
and then they blame the AI. The data strongly suggests use Google AI Studio, not the general Gemini interface.
Wait, really? So just using Gemini might mean you're getting worse results before you even type a prompt?
For consistent, professional level output, yeah. The workflow makes a huge difference. In Gemini, you have to manually pick the image tool every single time. Forget once, you just get text back about the image.
Ah, so it loses the context.
Exactly right. AI Studio is just smarter about it. The Nano Banana button is obvious, and crucially, if you use the image tool last time, it remembers. It defaults to it. Saves time, saves errors.
Okay, so a quick tip for you listening. Always just glance at those run settings. Make sure Nano Banana is actually selected. It'll save you some headache. All right, let's get to the recipes. Starting with adding and removing things smoothly.
Method 1. Seamless insertion. Adding something new, making it look like it belongs. The big insight here, we call it the shadow rule.
Because if I just tell it add a green backpack to someone walking in a forest, it often looks, well, flat, like a sticker, right?
Totally. The prompt has to force the AI to deal with the existing light and texture. So in our example, we say add a moss green hiking backpack that is a bit old and used. That helps. But the real key is the command about light. Create a natural shadow from the backpack onto the woman's back and jacket, matching the sunlight that is coming from the top left.
Okay, how does specifying the light source like top left sunlight, how does that help it avoid looking fake, looking pasted on?
It forces coherence. It gives the AI concrete data, points the direction, the type of light, so it can calculate and integrate the new object's shadow and even subtle texture interactions correctly.
It grounds the new object in the scene's reality. Makes sense.
Method 2 is the flip side. Removing unwanted stuff. Cleaning up a photo, getting rid of a distracting sign, maybe footprints on a nice clean beach.
And the key insight you mentioned is don't just remove, rebuild. You have to tell the AI what should be there after the thing is gone.
Right. So don't just say, remove all the footprints. You need more. Add commands like, make the surface of the sand look smooth and natural. And crucially, keep the original color and texture of the sand, and also keep the waves way back there.
So if we only say remove the footprints, what's the risk? What does the AI do with that blank space?
Well, it guesses. It might fill it with some random texture or something inconsistent that just screams fake edit.
Okay, adding and removing down. Let's move to more precise edits, focus changes, and style transfers. Method 3 is about changing just one specific part, like a sofa color, without messing up the whole room.
Yeah, this is where we fight against prompt drift, that annoying thing where the AI thinks you want to redo the whole image vibe when you just want a yellow sofa instead of gray.
I have to admit, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes when I'm trying to change just one small thing. It's like the AI sees the whole picture as one unit.
It does. So the formula here is all about constraint. We say, change the gray sofa to deep mustard yellow, okay? But then the critical part is adding positive constraints. Keep the original corduroy fabric texture, as well as the wrinkles and shadows.
And there's a negative command too, right?
Yes, absolutely vital. Everything else in the room must stay exactly the same. The
Yeah.
don't touch anything else command is just non-negotiable if you want a clean edit.
Why is defining the original texture, like corduroy, so important? Isn't just naming the new color enough?
Not really, because defining texture, corduroy, velvet, whatever, forces the AI to retain depth and realism. It prevents the object from looking like some flat, kind of soulless 3D model replacement. It keeps the character.
That's a really helpful way to think about it. Okay, method 4, style transfer. And this one has a pretty blunt rule. Go famous or go home.
Pretty much. If you want your photo turned into a specific art style, the AI needs loads of training data on that style.
Mm-hmm.
Think The Simpsons, Van Gogh, maybe Liechtenstein pop art. Don't try, like, obscure indie comic artists. It won't know them well enough.
Yeah, I learned that one the hard way. Tried to get a selfie in the style of some lesser-known abstract expressionist. It just kind of smeared the photo a bit, didn't capture the style at all.
Exactly. Because the training data is just too thin for niche styles. So you need to name the famous style, describe its key visual elements like classic yellow skin, big round eyes for The Simpsons, and also tell it what to keep, like maybe keep my hairstyle and smile.
So, based on the data, what usually happens if someone tries a style transfer with an obscure art style the AI barely recognizes?
It typically just gives you back the original photo with maybe a few generic lines or simple filter effects overlaid. It fails to capture the actual essence, the brushwork, the color palette of the style.
Okay, let's shift to blending things together. Method 5 is about combining elements from different photos, like maybe taking a jacket from one picture and putting it on a person in another. Virtual try-on, essentially.
Here, you absolutely have to define the source and the destination clearly. And crucially, state what must not change in the main image. Things like keep the woman's face, hairstyle, pose, and blue jeans exactly the same.
And for realism, the key command seems to be about lighting again, that instruction. The lighting on the new jacket must match the lighting of the environment in image 1.
So thinking about that, what's the detailed command that really stops the new clothing item from looking, totally out of place, like it doesn't belong?
It's asking the AI specifically to match the new item's lighting to the existing environment's lighting. It forces integration.
Right. Okay, moving quickly. Method 6, creating new angles. This needs more technical language, doesn't it? You can't just say, show me the side.
Exactly, too vague. So if you have a front view of a vintage car, you need to be specific. A low angle from the front left side, a 34 view. And you can add environmental interaction too, like the sunset light should be reflected on the hood and windshield.
Beyond just specifying the angle, what's that small detail that makes the car photo feel more dynamic, almost like it's ready to drive off?
It's asking for the front left wheel to be turned slightly towards the camera. That little bit of implied action really brings it to life. Mid-roll sponsor break. Welcome back to our deep dive on Nano Banana formulas. Before the break, we were digging into how light, texture, and perspective commands are crucial. Now let's look at some really high-value practical uses.
Yeah, method 7, creating professional product mockups. This is huge for e-commerce, for client work.
Yeah.
Being able to visualize products quickly.
And the trick here seems to be twofold. Create a context, a sort of lifestyle story, and make sure the logo or design looks like it's actually on the product, not just stuck there, like placing a logo on a tote bag.
Right, you set the scene. Carried on the shoulder of a woman, walking through an outdoor farmer's market. That gives context. But the quality command is the killer. The logo must look like it is printed on the fabric, not pasted on. That forces the AI to think about the fabric's texture, how it folds, the lighting.
That's massive. I remember trying product mock-ups ages ago and just getting a logo to not look like a flat sticker. It took forever, so many attempts. You're saying that one command helps fix that?
It really tackles the biggest hurdle in making digital mock-ups look convincing, yeah.
Whoa! Just imagine scaling that. Being able to mock up thousands of different designs onto products for a whole online store, like instantly. That's a serious force multiplier.
It really is. Okay, method 8 is about turning maybe a casual selfie into a proper professional headshot. And this really hinges on defining the purpose and specifying good lighting.
So you state the purpose clearly for a LinkedIn profile. You describe the attire navy blue blazer, neatly combed hair, set the scene light gray office wall, softly blurred, and then nail the lighting. The lighting should look like natural light from a window, hitting him from the right side.
That natural light specification, that's the game changer.
Yeah.
It immediately creates depth, looks more professional than just flat, even lighting.
So what really separates that flat, maybe poorly lit snapshot from the professional look you get with Method 8?
It's that specified natural light source. It creates dimension, shape, and just feels more polished.
Okay, Method 9, which you called time travel. Taking modern folks and putting them into historical eras like the 1920s. This feels tricky, balancing the style change with keeping the person recognizable.
It is a balancing act. The key is separating identity features from stylistic elements.
Yeah.
You have to explicitly tell the AI what facial features to keep so you still recognize them, but then demand it change the aesthetics.
Right, so alongside describing the beaded flapper dress or the pinstripe suit and maybe adding a sepia tone, the really clever command is keep their facial features but change their hairstyles and makeup to fit the era.
Exactly. And finally, method 10, completely changing the background. Moving someone, say a child, from a boring room to maybe sitting on a soft, fluffy cloud in a night sky. This really tests how well the AI handles light interaction.
Yeah, you're going beyond just cutting and pasting. You define the mood, magical, dreamlike atmosphere. But the truly advanced bit is commanding. The light from the moon and stars should gently light up the child's hair and clothes.
That's a complex step for the AI. When you swap a background like that, why is asking the new light source to affect the original subject considered such an advanced command?
Because it forces the AI to essentially run a second lighting pass on the original subject, blending the new background light with whatever light was already there. It has to harmonize two different light environments onto one object. Makes it much more believable.
Okay, before we wrap up with the big takeaway,
Yeah.
let's quickly hit those three pitfalls again. Things to avoid even if you use these formulas.
Right. First, don't use obscure art styles. The AI just doesn't know them well enough. Stick to famous ones. Second, avoid super long, complex mega prompts. Break down big edits into smaller, sequential steps. It works better.
And third, stop using vague size words like big or small. Be specific. Use powerful adjectives like gigantic, massive, or tiny. General terms just seem to confuse the AI's sense of scale.
Okay, let's try and synthesize this. The big lesson seems to be that unlocking Nano Banana's real power isn't luck. It's about using these kinds of effective formulas. It takes a bit of precision and patience.
Totally. If you get specific about texture, about shadows, the angle of the light, and critically, use those strong negative commands telling the AI what not to change your results, jump from looking kind of basic to looking photorealistic. The underlying principle is achieving coherence, especially with light and texture.
Absolutely. It's really about learning to speak the AI's language when it comes to visual details, giving it the specific data points it needs to create that harmony.
Which leads to a final thought, maybe something for you, the listener, to chew on. Of all the detailed commands we talked about today, matching that shadow direction, preserving the corduroy texture, specifying the window light angle, which one do you think is the single most underrated, most powerful tool for getting truly photorealistic results with AI image editing?
It's worth experimenting. Maybe start simple. Pick one photo you have, try applying just one of these specific techniques tonight. That's honestly the fastest way to level up your skills and start getting those kinds of professional results we've been talking about.